Everybody, oh no, we've got a crash.
Scott McLaughlin. And we were talking earlier about Guerrero back in '92. The one thing you don't want to do is to have your race ended before it's even begun.
It is over.
Sorry, bud. It's okay. Don't stress about it. That's all right. We're okay.
1992 was cold like this as Scott Dixon, the number 9 PNC car, smoking, and you have to wonder, was there contact or is that moisture on the track? And maybe there was still some moisture from McLaughlin in his spin, but his left front suspension is destroyed. His day is over. Scott Dixon is on fire on the left rear.
What has happened out there on track between these two?
It's his time, Scott.
Two of the favorites coming in, two very strong contenders. See a massive fire inside the left rear tire there at Dixon.
That's in the brake system. It's behind the left.
He didn't pit. We heard the call over the radio to pit this lap. They left him out there. That could be a huge issue as we see the devastation on Scott McLaughlin's face and his body language.
And that is what it means. That is what it means to have your dreams wrenched away from you before you've even had an opportunity to make them real. Galling. Utterly galling for Scott Dixon, for Scott McLaughlin. And I wonder, guys, Scott Dixon on row 2, McLaughlin on row 4, how could they have come together? They're 2 rows apart.
Well, we don't know if they had contact yet, but let's get a report maybe on what's going on with Scott Dixon's car as the EMR safety team goes to work on McLaughlin. Kevin?
So listening to the number 9 radio, it does not sound as dire. They need to just cool the brakes. Michael, his strategist, is telling him, let's just cool the brakes. It's all going to be fine. They are not planning to pit at this moment.
And they have the benefit. Felix Rosenquist, who's right behind Dixon, can radio in and get some information because there's a relationship between Chip Ganassi and Jim Meyer. Here's what happened with Scotty Mack.
We ride on board with McLaughlin warming his tires. Oh no. Oh no. Warming his tires, swerving just to put some temperature into the rubber and just loses it.
The track is cold. The tires are cold. These cars are set up to turn left. They don't do straight very well, Townsend. And when you light up the rear tires to try to get a bit of heat into them, it is so easy to have that happen.
Well, especially if there's any of that residual rain moisture on the racetrack. And for Scott McLaughlin, the worst feeling I can possibly imagine as a racing driver.
Hi, bud. You okay? Sorry, bud. It's okay. Don't stress about it. That's all right. We're okay.
$350,000 people rise in their seats to salute the field. The 33 who have earned their right to contest the greatest spectacle in racing, to mark their name in history and take their date with destiny, to etch their name into racing immortality. And as they round the final corner, we prepare for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Can't think of more difficult circumstances for the rookie Robert Schwartzman, but he gets after it in anger.
Sensational start for the rookie Robert Schwartzman. Pato O'Ward topped up underneath him already, and O'Ward has a look to the outside into turn 1, but Schwartzman will lead the field from the pole.
Side by side back there, Alex Palou going around Rosenquist. Puff of smoke still out of the back of Scott Dixon. As side by side they are, a crash and one.
Marco Andretti got together with Marcus Armstrong. There's Andretti in the 98 car.
Steering wheel off. Means Marco's all right, but obviously intense damage to the left rear, to the right rear. And the curse continues at Indianapolis.
His 20th start An absolute devastation for Andretti, for Mario, for Michael, most importantly, for Marco.
And what an eerily familiar resemblance to the 1992 Indy 500. A car crashing on the pace lap. We've had that with McLaughlin, and an Andretti into the wall. Let's see what happened to Marco all the way in the back.
5 wide there. Yeah, he gets hit by Jack Harvey. And then Armstrong, just an innocent bystander. Marco tried to hang on to it. It's so tough.
Marcus did well to keep out of that.
Looked to me like maybe the 23 of Ryan Hunter-Reay moved up a little bit, got into his teammate Harvey, and that's what forced Harvey high as we get a late shot here of Marco trying to save it. He was sideways, thought he might get it.
On board as we see Andretti spin and in the wall and out of the Indianapolis 500. And that was good to hear.
A spin in pit lane.
Oh,
we got a spin in pit lane.
There's a crash.
That's
into
VK.
The wall.
That's VK.
VK was coming into the pits. We talked about the alternate strategy. He was on a slightly different one, and game over. Race-ending damage.
No brakes at all.
Oh.
No brakes.
That is a scary thought. VK saying no brakes, trying to come into the pits, slowing down from 220 miles an hour down to 60. That's the speed limit here at IMS.
Right rear is destroyed as we take a look at VK. Just loses the back of the race car violently.
What on earth is going on at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today? We have seen it all.
I mean, he had brakes, James, but maybe they were out of balance. It looked like too much rear bias potentially. Maybe he was pumping the pedal because of the pad knockback, but either way, for the 18 car in Dale Coyne Racing, they are done.
It's such a tough break. They'd had a very strong run of late. Couple top 10s, had them in the top 10 of the championship coming in here.
Welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gamebridge. You see from your screen Alex Palou in the lead of this race from David Malukas. Big changes have happened on pit lane as it opened under caution. Here's a look at what happened to the race leader, Takuma Sato, who came in hot in the lead of this race, hasn't really put a foot wrong all day. Locks up, you see the fronts there, skids long in his box.
Yeah, 6 feet long, just absolute disaster.
And then, once the fronts are changed, watch the rear left starts to spin it.
How about Robert Schwartzman? Watch the 83, goes in hard.
Oh no!
Like a bowling ball, takes out 4 crew members and the fueler. We will hope that everybody's okay.
Oh, that's horrible.
But we talk about a rookie at Indy, and James, there's no way to practice for what Robert Schwartzman just had to deal with, pitting in anger under a full course caution. And we don't know if there's damage to put them out of this race, but the pole center is well back at a minimum.
I mean, you talk about the problems for a rookie. Takuma Sato has been doing this for decades and also locked up as well. Such cool temperatures here, and of course, brakes that haven't really been used in anger.
Oh, we just got the call.
It's done.
They're done. Oh, there was going to be a penalty even if they had got the car back on track for hitting crew members as the wheel comes off the pole sitter's car.
What a sad end to a glorious day. But what an impression this team and this driver have made by turning up here and taking the pole. It was always going to be a challenge for them in the race itself, and nobody wants to see a race end that way. 500 winner. Now we go green. Jack Harvey pops out to have a little look at the champion. Alex Palou running 4 wide down the front stretch. Ryan Hunter-Reay has the lead. DiFrancesco goes to put the move on his own teammate Rahal, who drops to 3rd, and then comes Jack Harvey. Ed Carpenter and Malukas gets up on the inside as Palou gets squeezed and Palou drops back.
How did we get through that? That was some heads up driving from Palou on back. We got a spinner. Kyle Larson.
No. Larson hits Simpson.
I think Stingray Robb may have been caught up in that as well.
It is game over for Larson, and that is the double. Done and dusted.
1,100 miles will not be completed by Kyle Larson today, unfortunately. That was a very manic restart. Ed Carpenter slid up wide into the path of Palou. Palou had to get on the brakes, slow it down. You see Kiffin Simpson in the wall in the number 8 machine. AMR safety team on the scene. You see a thumbs up coming out of the cockpit.
And that's good to see.
I thought we hit
for Josef. Oh, there's someone else.
I think that's Stingray Robb.
That is Stingray, you're right.
Ooh.
That is Stingray Robb, who has gone into the tyre barrier on the left-hand side of the track. Not often you see a driver end up down there.
Safety team helping as Stingray Robb looks to be climbing out under his own power. AMR safety team dispatched in multiple locations here for Larson and Simpson. So out climbs Kiffin Simpson. There goes Stingray Robb. That's a great sign. But boy, guys, dramatic. These restarts. You know, one of the issues, James, is I think the leader's speed has been very slow on these restarts. Everybody's getting pretty bunched up in the back.
Great to see the AMR IndyCar safety team on the scene as fast as they have been, not just this month of May, but everywhere we go and everywhere we race.
Best in the business, no doubt about it. It gives every driver an extra sense of comfort strapping into one of these Indy cars, knowing that that team is with them, not just here at the Speedway, but at all 17 races in the IndyCar Series. And there's Kyle Larson. He was so looking forward to being the next guy to complete all 1,100 miles. Our Tony Stewart, the only one that's done it.
So let's take a look at this from the outside. There goes Larson to the bottom. A little wiggle, and it just goes.
He just lost it in the short chute on the entrance to 2, and Kiffin Simpson almost got around.
Stingray Robb did avoid contact, but got up in the gray, cranked the wall. That would have been the suspension. Then you see the car just pitch left. Nothing the driver could do at that point along for the ride.
Let's look again here at real speed.
Larson at the bottom, now to the top.
Stingray Robb just broke the right rear toe link, and at that point, he's a passenger, as we'll take a look from Kyle Larson on board.
Oh, he downshifted.
Oh, no.
Third gear, you're at the top of third gear. That was a downshift he did not need.
Downshift just adds torque to the rear tires. On board with Marcus Ericsson having to avoid it. You see the car spinning. It's so hard to know which way to go in that moment. He kind of just held steady. Didn't make anything, no sudden moves. Here's on board with Stingray Robb now, outside of Larson on the restart, down the front straight. But Larson's going to have that massive toe to his left. Stingray kind of out on his own. That's the 66, I believe, of Armstrong on the outside.
Oh, Larson fires it right back in. And now watch this. Larson's going to slow up and then grab that fateful downshift that kicks him sideways.
Oh, and it looks almost like he reacted to Larson spinning alongside him, tried to give him just a little or two more.
Oh, you rarely see cars get down into that wall. That's
Hardly
a
ever.
hard impact, even though it's a relatively slow pace for an Indy car.
It was just in his peripheral vision, as though he just saw Larson coming towards the side of his car in the rear view mirrors and just reacted to that, and that inch or two movement to the right at that speed, up and into the wall.
Still outside, clear. Outside, outside, outside. Okay, Kyle? You okay, Kyle? How's it up there? Nothing else coming. You all right?
Oh, sorry, guys. No way. I'm so sorry.
You all right, bub? Safety to you.